All right, it is 6:30 on June 15th, 2026. This is the River Plantation Mud Board meeting. Our first item on the agenda is to approve the minutes. We have two minutes to approve, both the 11th and the 18th of May, because we got powered out. We have
Can you take that?
I'll come get it.
yeah, just sign secure. All right, let's do May 11th first. Do we have any issues with the May 11th minutes? May 11th minutes?
No. I'm gonna move, we accept the minutes as stated.
Do we have a second? All in favor? Aye. Meeting for the May 18th meeting. Any issues?
In that case, I'll move we accept the minutes again as stated.
We have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All approved. Next item on the agenda is the comments from the public. Where we go?
Oh, I think he's got it back here. Oh.
Okay, first person, you'll know, Stephen Guillory.
Hello. So I'm Stephen Guillory. We met briefly last meeting, and I am the landscaper proposing a new contract for the mud parks department. There were some things brought to light last meeting, buyout lots and wastewater treatment plants that have now been rectified, and the price has been adjusted. We're still sitting at still a discounted rate, but we're at $6,950 a month. That's at 24 occurrences, and I believe we're at 21 now. So, you know, I dropped off hard copies in front of every board member here, and my contact information's in there. If you have any questions, please reach out, let me know. Is there anything y'all would like to address now?
You guys have any questions on this?
I know, this time.
Okay.
So I understand you connected with Tom and y'all were able to go around and visit all sides and you got a pretty good clear of the scope of work?
Yes, sir. There was some stuff that's definitely hidden away that I was not aware of. I mean, it's some real small pieces of land, just enough to keep the water flowing, and it's great. Tom, appreciate you. Saturday morning, we went and rode around for about an hour and a half. It was great. So no, I think, you know, assuming that Tom didn't leave anything off, we are good to go.
The only thing that we didn't decide, and we can do that outside the contract, was that ditch that you didn't want to repel in.
Yes, so
We may have to talk, if you get the bid, we may have to talk about that later.
I guess that'd be on the northwest corner of River Plantation and is that Stonewall Jackson there. There's a huge hole that's concreted in, it's been fenced in, but it's gotten to the point where it's growing trees this size and diameter down there, however deep that hole is. And I used to do a lot of work with the city of Shenandoah and their detention and retention ponds, and you know, annually, semi-annually, they would come through and cut trees out once they got to a certain diameter. I would strongly recommend you do the same, just to limit the damage those roots are going to cause over time.
So I'm sorry, just another couple of questions. So your frequency is 24, are you suggesting twice a month, or can that fluctuate like between summer and winter?
We're suggesting twice a month, not twice a month, we're suggesting every other week in the growing season, so starting like April 1st through the end of November, basically, you would have it every other week. And some months that would lead to 3 occurrences, and some months that'd only be 2. And I will get that frequency schedule for you guys to make sure like everybody's aware of exactly where we land. But if you go every other week, it also depends on when we start the contract, on you know how that falls. But it's going to be, say we start on August 1st, So let's cut the first week of August, then miss a week, and then that's where we'll start every other week until the growing season ends, which is basically the end of November, realistically. So then we go back to, 2 occurrences in December, 2 in January, 2 in February, and then March picks up, we increase it again to every other week, which balances out to 24 occurrences a year.
Good,
Yes, sir?
thank you. Next up, Tim Goodman.
Short and sweet. There's a lot of talk about AI data centers being built, especially now in our geography. Not particularly in RP, but definitely there's talk of Willowbrook, Spring, Willis. There's a lot surrounding, and who knows what's going to happen to our direct area. My suggestion is that you take a look at the water rates that you have and perhaps penalize anybody that uses anything over 40,000 gallons. Because I don't think we need to be selling somebody 1 million gallons a day. I don't think that we have 1 million gallons a day that could feasibly last out of our aquifers. But right now, the highest user we have, there's one user on the chart this month that used between 30 and 40. So I think that there needs to be a rate that's established that anybody that uses a higher rate than that, they really have to pay for it. And they're really gonna have to want it.
Your recommendation was 40,000?
Anything over 40,000.
Yeah.
And if you've got a homeowner using 40,000 gallons, that's a lot of water.
Yep.
There's something.
So we can basically just amend our.
Well, we already have, what,
We
3 tiers?
we could amend our tier program and say anything over this amount will be individually enriched.
There you go. It allows you to do something like that to where you're addressing the potential of future,
Get ahead of it.
yeah, get ahead of it.
Instead of trying to preset it, we just address it depending on the need.
That's
We
it.
need to make a note of.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Tim.
Okay, next up, Betty Brown.
Oh, no.
Change your mind? No, Liam Goodman.
I'm here to find out about to thank you guys for letting us use Charleston for the fireworks this year again, and to find out if, we need to go ahead. Last year, we were required to put, caution tape all the way around Charleston. We do have officers that are going to be placed around like we did last year to keep that from people coming on, but I was just asked by the board to ask if we have to do that again.
Black Ford truck.
So you'd rather not put the tape up?
It doesn't really matter, I don't think they wanted to, but, they're the ones that picked it up, so.
But don't you think it helped us last year to keep people from driving on the?
Absolutely, absolutely, there were still people that did, but,
My thoughts, we still need to put it up there.
okay,
We need to protect that as much as we can.
I agree, yeah,
Let's,
Okay.
let's bring that up when we talk about, application for this park.
okay.
Okay, what's on it?
It's on there. Number
That's all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mark. Leah Sanders.
I thought it was really interesting to see that the first time where ex-MUD board member came up to talk, he accepted what he said very quickly. The fact is, if anybody's using some extraordinary amount of water, you might want to check for leaks before charging them a different rate order. See if there's not some other kind of issue going on, because it seems like they're not going to be running a data AI center
That's
in
not
River
what we said.
Plantation.
I misunderstood.
That's a good
Well,
one.
then explain it better. All right, so for the record, my name is Mia Sanders. I am here to formally contest the unitemized $5,000 adjustment added to our standard utility bill. Because the district has threatened to terminate our essential water services over this disputed balance, I am exercising my right to a public review and demand that the board answer the following questions regarding the evidentiary and procedural basis for this charge. One, what is the exact date, time, and specific location of the alleged infraction that triggered the $5,000 surcharge? What physical documented evidence does the district or its operator possess, such as photographs, time-stamped video, or field technician logs proving that a violation occurred at your property? 3, the board physically produced that evidence tonight and entered into the public record for my immediate inspection. If not, why is an unverified charge being actively enforced against our account? What specific section, paragraph, and line of the River Plantation MUD rate order authorizes a civil penalty of exactly $5,000 for this specific alleged act? Was this $5,000 assessment voted on and approved by this board in an open meeting prior to being attached to our standard residential water bill? If so, on what date did that vote occur, and where are the public minutes reflecting that action? If it was not voted on by the board publicly, who specifically authorized a corporate operator to independently levy a $5,000 penalty against a resident's household utility account? Why was our household denied a formal itemized notice of violation outlining our right to a cure period before this $5,000 penalty was applied directly to our central utility balance? Given that the district's notice explicitly states that no partial payments are accepted, how does the district justify a policy that blocks a resident from paying for their actual standard water monthly usage, while a separate massive financial penalty is under active dispute? Under what statutory authority does a public utility district justify issuing a disconnection notice on a Saturday that threatens a complete cutoff by noon on the very next business day, Monday, June 15th? How does a 24-hour weekend deadline constitute fair and reasonable due process under the Texas Water Code? If this board is aware that the exact underlying allegations connected to the sudden $5,000 surcharge are currently part of an active, open, civil lawsuit scheduled for March 2027, an actual lawsuit, in Texas District Court, why is this district attempting to execute an administrative self-help penalty and bypass the jurisdiction of a presiding state judge, while these exact structural issues are actively awaiting a trial date? Well, it's now March 2027. Can the board state under oath that tattering a $5,000 fine onto a running water access right as our community campaign builds momentum is not an intentional act of retaliation or administrative coercion? Can you answer any of those questions? I can give them to you in writing if you would like.
We'll take them in writing if you'd like.
And I'll like this piece of paper.
Paul, you want to address this now, or do you want to wait until we get to that item on the agenda?
I think we can talk more with the item on the agenda. I'll just note, I think it's a good time to note that the 5,000 is the civil penalty the board has previously assessed. And so we know what it is, and it went through all the formal processes. But we can talk about it more later.
I have a question. Since we do our own recording and it is uploaded, are we permitting anybody in the meetings to report on their own? I noticed. That's
called
not
public.
been.
I don't think we can stop.
Okay, just want to make sure.
You can't stop
I mean, so
anybody
it's
from
already
recording.
going to be uploaded.
Right.
That's right.
Okay, just want to double check, thanks.
Sure, no, good question.
Next person, Alex Bo.
Alexis backup? Yeah, I'm with her. I'm the majority owner of the house. If we're gonna talk about the fine later, that's my question. 'Cause I wasn't at any of these hearings before, so I'm just curious about how that came to be, that's all.
The itemized.
And Mark?
No, Frank, maybe you're not reading it right.
That's Frank, okay. No, looks like Mark, huh?
My name is Frank.
Frank, okay.
My name is Frank Backer. I live at 572 Swanee Park. Purchased this house with my son 5 years ago. I met Tom, came, introduced himself with his wife, Linda, son Chaz. Appreciate that, very gracious. I'm here on behalf of what's going on with Mia Sanders. I'm not sure if everybody understands everything that she just said. But what's going on here, I'm hoping it's just a misunderstanding, because it doesn't make any sense to me. She had a garage sale, and she put up some signs for a garage sale. And before I know it, we were being sued for it, which I was not made aware of at all. Nobody came to me. I'm the owner of the house with my son. Nobody came to me. Nobody said anything to me. We were being sued for putting a garage sale sign on Charleston Park. I'm not even sure what the boundary of the Charleston Park is,
Allegedly.
but I don't think that we were even on Charleston Park specifically. But
We've never been given
Can you
any
let
dates
him
or times
speak,
or
please? It's his
specifications.
turn. Please let him speak.
There's a sign out right
Thank
now
you,
for a
thank you.
garage sale. Are
I'm
they
trying
anywhere?
my
One
best.
person,
I would like to hear
one
your
person
side of it,
speaking
so
right
I
now,
like-
one person speaking.
Like I said, I was not made aware of anything that was going on. I did not know that garage sales were against the rules. I've never seen the rules. I think we've asked for rules. I've never seen any rules. I thought the proper responsibility of a municipal utility district was control of irrigation and water and power, not to monitor people who walk their dogs or put up a sign for a garage sale. Doesn't make any sense to me at all. I'm hoping that this is just a misunderstanding. From what I understand on reading HOA rules, I know this is MUD, not HOA, there's a penalty for $25 for inappropriate signage, which I don't think a garage sale comes under that. And at one of these meetings, it was decided to penalize us with a civil penalty of $5,000 for putting up a garage sale sign. Does that make any sense to anybody? Has anybody else experienced anything at all like that ever in their life? Does this make any sense to anybody? I'm here because I need to be here, because I need to understand what's going on. If it can be explained to me, that would be incredibly valuable to me, because I would like to know what's going on here. But no, I wasn't told that. I had nothing in the mail. I was not part of any garage sale. That was just to make a few extra dollars for Mia Sanders, who is a co-resident of the property that my son and I bought 5 years ago. This is not a big deal, but it was made a big deal, not by any individual here. I met Tom, he seems like a respectable man, but sometimes when people get together in groups, they have their own motives. I'm not sure what they are, but they just don't seem to be very friendly to the homeowners and the taxpayers. I think they take our tax money and they hire lawyers to use against us. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's abusive, it's retaliatory. It's not okay. It's not even moral, even close to it, unless you can come up with some reason that this all makes sense to anybody here. I don't understand it at all. Then, out of the blue, we got a water bill, and that's what Mia was talking about. They put the $5,000 penalty that we were being sued for, that we had to pay for a lawyer to respond for a trial that's not even gonna be held till next year. It should be thrown out as what's the word,
Okay, your
Retaliation.
time is up. We give 3 minutes for the public. We will
I'm
address
taking
this.
my son's time,
We
if
will,
that's okay.
we will be-
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm
My
running this meeting right now,
water
sir.
bill, that was, they
Sir,
added that
sir,
$5,000 charge
Sir,
to
you're
our water
interrupting the
bill
meeting.
as an adjustment, and
We will
then
be
they
we will be
threatened to
address-
shut
we
our
will be
water
addressing
off if we
this
don't pay
during
it.
Item number
I was
13
never-
on the agenda. We will be addressing this on item 13 on the agenda. We
I'm-
will
I
allow you
said
to
I
give
was-
input at that
I
time.
wanted-
Right now, you've used up more than your 3 times. I've been more than generous, more than your 3 minutes. I've been more than generous at that. And it's time for you to sit down and wait for your turn when we get to that agenda item to continue this.
I know your motion was just down for a while, okay?
I understand.
Next item on the agenda. Do we have anyone else that would like to speak that did not sign in yet?
I appreciate the extra time.
Sir. Next item on the agenda is financial and bookkeeping matters, bookkeeper's report.
Okay. I passed out hard copies to you guys. We received in your transfer from your online account and transferred over from your Texas Class account to cover today's expenses. We received payment from Julie Gilmer at the last meeting. That was for the park bench that she purchased. We processed payroll tax and had bank service charges. We issued your CenterPoint Energy blank check and Energy, and reimbursed Julie for additional expense reimbursements that she turned in. Today, for y'all's approval, we have Alpha Lawn Care for lawn services, Consolidated for your internet expenses, Energy for utilities, bookkeeping fees for April and May, your quarterly appraisal fees, maintenance and operations for May, park rangers. You guys this is a new bill. You guys had it for the first time last meeting, so anything new, I like to point out that to you guys also.
Can I ask a quick question about
Yes.
that? That caught my eye.
Yes.
So I sort of understand what they do. So do they follow up with a report, or how do they follow up to make sure that you know what they're doing?
I'm not sure who is communicating with them on the board.
Are you guys talking to the park guys?
To who?
I know nothing about park rangers.
Park rangers.
And that, you know,
I just caught one of them.
I don't
Park
know anything about
Rangers
it,
is
so.
is Mike Murr. The guy who's the PMing the irrigation system. Michael Murr, that's the
the new
irrigation.
guys is-
Yeah, Michael Murr that came last meeting,
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
that's him,
yeah.
it's part, it's under his
We just
business
didn't
is
know
under
him.
Park Rangers.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen any other additional reports. He sends me just the invoices.
Okay, because I looked them up on the website,
Yeah.
and it's like what I thought they would do is ride around, the trails on the golf course and report anything that they see that is amiss, to recommend fixing or stuff. I didn't know it was an actual maintenance to do.
Yes, sir, it's that irrigation contractor that came last time. And
Yeah, I
it was in
understand that.
the report of the irrigation system.
Okay.
Alrighty. And then we have your IT admin fees, legal fees, Synaptic integrations for surveillance, additional legal fees, your emergency alert system with Touchstone, engineering fees for all of their projects, and then refunds for the month. Below.
Let me interrupt there. So, we're still getting this bill from Entergy, and it says Operations Center. Did we find out what that is?
Yes, we confirm that is this building, and I am pulling invoices to do a back bill to them.
Okay.
They do need to they need to switch it over to their own account.
Okay.
I don't wanna just kick them off of y'all's account.
Right.
But I am back billing them
But
from
we've been paying electricity for
the operations one, yes.
Wasn't the plan, it's next.
so it is a contact. We need to contact them.
I don't see a check for Jay, no, we do $2,500 a month for him or something like that for the trees? Isn't that
No,
what-
I haven't received an invoice. Typically I would receive the J&K, is that what you're talking about, J&K?
Yeah.
I think that those invoices come in kind of later, so, I was handwriting them at the board meetings, so maybe I have not received it, so I'm not sure if any of you guys have received that
I
invoice.
know Mark and I talked to him this week about getting some stuff cleaned up, and I thought we had, at one meeting a few months back, that we passed, put him on retainer, I guess, basically, that's what it is. If that's the case, we should just go ahead and do the checks. Is that not your understanding, Kip? Is that what we did?
Yeah, but he has to turn in an invoice
Mhm.
listing what he's done.
Yeah, I do have to have an invoice to pay him off of.
Okay.
But I can write a check today, and then y'all can hold on to it until you receive that invoice if you wanna do that. Okay? Alrighty.
He's kinda slow on the
Yeah,
invoice.
we can wait.
You want-
We can wait until we get invoiced.
We don't need to hurry to pay.
Yeah, but
Okay.
he needs to be paid when he does it, so you have to have the check in.
I'm happy to do it either way. Y'all just tell me if you want me to write a check today and y'all hold on to it, or we can wait until next meeting.
Just go ahead and give us a check, but don't put an amount in it till we see what it's due,
Okay.
okay?
Yes, sir. Below your refunds, you have your STP billing and your joint drainage billing, and then new blank checks to replace the ones we issued. I know we have a couple new board members, so I do wanna take a little bit of time to kind of explain some of this stuff. So Your refunds, those are customers that are leaving the district, that's refunding them their deposits that they have with your operator. The operator sends me the listing of what's due. Your joint drainage and your STP billing, we create those invoices. We're gonna get later in my report, you'll see those two accounts specifically, those all expenses that come in and anything related to operating the STP, your sewer treatment plant, or your joint drainage fund, all of those expenses get billed back out to River Plantation and to your general operating fund. And I do that billing as well. So when you see those billings for each time, that's what that's for. Ending balance in your checking account is the $27,293. So move on to your next page. Your online account, this is where your operator is depositing your accounts receivable directly into this fund. So we received in $86,999. We have an automatic transfer over to your general operating fund to cover the expenses in your general operating fund. Customer returned NSF items, those are people that are paying into that fund that are negative on their side. It's not y'all's account going negative. Below that, your investment account, so your Texas class account, and basically you can view that as a savings account for the district. It is a higher yield account. It's not a CD, the funds are liquid, so we can receive that money and move that around as we need to. It's getting pretty good interest. I think we're at 3.6 right now, but overall, pretty good. Total operating funds of $1,310,000. Your tax account is below that. Tax collections come into this account, so all taxes, your M&O taxes, your debt service portion, that's levied each year, all of that tax money goes into this tax account, and then we divvy it up based on the total pennies for M&O and the pennies for INS. I move money as we need to the general operating fund and to your debt service fund as it's supposed to be allocated. We're going to get to the point of the year, we are at the time of the year where taxes start coming in less and less and less. Most people have paid. We're at 93.69% collected. So you won't see too much more taxes coming in for that. That account is left off at $45,881. Your next page, your capital projects fund. We keep the bulk of your capital projects fund money, the bulk of all of your money into the higher yield accounts. So you'll see the Texas Class account. I've got a transfer over up to your central account there. Earned interest on this fund as well, and service charges. And then today for y'all's approval, we have CivCon for your storm sewer rehab phase 2 application number 1. Your JA demolition services, this is the Mosswood ditch clearing for pay app number 1. Top Star Construction, this is East Ditch Rehab, pay app number 1 and 2. And then we have your engineering fees for all of the your capital projects. Including your Texas Class account, we have total capital projects fund money of $6,486,000. Your capital projects fund money is allocated specifically to the projects that this money was received in for. You cannot use that money in your general operating fund for whatever you want. It's specific to the projects that your engineer went out and said, you know, here's what we're going to use the money for, and that's what we use those funds for. Debt service fund, interest is being earned here. We processed a paying agent fee. You will see these. They send us an invoice for your debt service accounts. We're left off at $1,409,000. We make debt service payments twice a year. The next debt service payment is due in September, and that's $521,000. We do already have adequate funds to make that payment, so no problems there. The other board members are like, oh my gosh, she's talking way too much, I'm so sorry. Your page 4 and 5 got pushed together, so you just get a page 4 here. Your sewer treatment plant fund, we received in, like I said, we bill out all expenses that come into this account. We bill it to River Plantation and to East Plantation, so we have received in payment from both of those. We've got a service charge listed. We issued your Entergy blank check. When I say blank check, I just want to also mention, it's not fully blank. It's made out to that company. We just don't have the invoice yet. To keep from having a late fee, so like your utility bills, some of your garbage bills, we don't have the invoice yet, so to keep from getting that penalized and a late fee for that, I get you guys to sign a check that's made out to that vendor. I hold it in a lockbox in my office. When we get the invoice, we issue the payment. I bring a copy of that to the next meeting, so attached to the check that y'all are signing today has a copy of the last check that I got you guys to sign, showing when it was filled out and the date and the amount. Okay. Checks for y'all's approval today. In your STP fund, you've got energy for your utilities, sludge removal, bookkeeping fees for April and May, your maintenance and operations, garbage expenses, and your engineering fees. A new blank check to replace the ones that we issued, ending balance of $32,000. Your joint drainage fund, the same setup here, so everything's billed back out. We have your energy blank check that we've issued from your last meeting, and then today we've got bookkeeping fees for April and May, engineering fees, and a new blank check to energy. Ending balance of $30,599. Your next page. This is your profit and loss for your general operating fund for the month of May. If we're looking in the middle column there, we're showing your fiscal year, so October through May so far. I just kind of hit some highlights on here. Your maintenance tax money that's been pushed over to your general operating fund is at $656,000 so far. Overall interest, we've collected $37,000 in interest in that time period. With the revenues, your water and your sewer and all of your other revenues, we're at $1,310,000. Your expense category, I mean, we're looking healthy in all of our expenses. I don't think that we're really over in anything. If there was a line item that we needed to amend for, we could change that at any time. Overall, if you look at that next page on your P&L, the very last number is showing that we are in a deficit. We anticipated a deficit. I know this keeps getting brought up, so I'll mention it again. On this budget for your general operating fund, whenever we set this last September, we anticipated this being a negative budget, meaning we're going to use the reserves that you guys have built up over the years. So your general operating fund, when you're setting a budget, we're not starting it at a zero bank account balance. We're starting with the money that you guys have collected over the years and built up that reserve. Your reserve, like currently right now, your general operating funds, after we paid all the expenses today, is $1,310,000. This budget was saying, of that million, whatever it was in October, of that million something dollars, we're going to use $142,000 of that. That's what the negative shows at the bottom there. So just wanted to clarify that. Right now, we've dipped in $54,000 of the reserve that we anticipated using. In your next page, your STP fund, the zeros across the bottom, that shows all revenue, all expenses, everything is going to a net zero. We have built everything out to your participants for the month of May, and then all the way from October through current. Continuing on, your joint drainage page, your very last page of my report, the zeros across the bottom, we've built everything out. Okay. That's everything. Sorry, that was a bit long-winded.
You're amazing.
I'm sweating.
Killed it.
I know it's a lot, but if y'all have questions, please let me know. I'm happy to
I have a
explain.
question. How much is budgeted for frivolous lawsuits?
I'm sorry, sir. This is the board time now.
Is that the relevant question?
This is
We're
not
talking
time
budget.
This is not time for the public to talk. This is the board. This is an open board meeting. That means that we are open during our discussions.
I thought
That does not
questions
mean that,
were
it does not
being
mean that
requested.
the public does not have the opportunity to discuss the items that we're discussing.
Or ask a question when a
Or
question
ask a
was
question,
requested?
Yes. If you're gonna be rude, no, we do not allow that. So please.
I don't mean to
please-
raise my voice.
Please keep your voice down.
All right, how much is in the budget for frivolous lawsuits?
You do not have to answer that question. He is not a board member.
It's a
We'll try and
rhetorical
find out. I've been
question.
asking. We'll try and find out.
Frivolous, that was the word, frivolous. I couldn't remember that earlier.
We'll find out how much.
I'm
We
sorry
already-
for interrupting your meeting.
Thank you. Do the board members have any questions?
Yeah.
I have a motion to
Frivolous.
accept the account.
I move to accept the bookkeeper's report.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? The bookkeeper's report is accepted. Tax collector report.
We just include that in the bookkeeping, the 93%, basically.
Yeah, we think we just did all of it.
You did all those right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, review ethics letter and update by investment officer. Dave?
Okay, the Public Funds Investment Act requires that your investment officer, who is Tom, make annual disclosures regarding any business or personal relationships he has with any entities with whom you invest your funds. We just put this on the agenda as a reminder, and we've sent the same disclosure form to Tom to complete and send back. So I'm sure it's in the mail right now. There've never been any conflicts disclosed, and I'm sure everything looks good. So no action that needs to be taken under that item.
Okay, next consider appointment of treasurer as investment officer. Seems like we should
Okay.
do that first, right?
Now that you have a new treasurer, I just wanted to put this on here. I didn't know if y'all wanted to appoint Mark as an investment officer in addition to Tom, appoint Mark as your investment officer. Historically, it's been your treasurer, who was Tom. Now Tom is vice president. So I'm just making sure that we have the person in the position that you guys would like to have there. So makes no difference to me.
Is he mistakenly saying me, or yeah, are you saying because the treasurer that Carey's the treasurer, or does it matter? You can just-
Carey's secretary.
I'm going by what then it's.
Carey's the secretary.
Inaccurate.
Oh, that's my mistake. I
Okay.
apologize.
Oh, okay. I was about to
Don't
say.
take it to the engineer on board members.
Don't ever believe anything that the engineer tells you. I will warn you that it does come with some fairly onerous training requirements. And the other thing that I'll point out is that in many cases my clients appoint the bookkeeper as the investment officer because they are very diligent about maintaining the training requirements for compliance purposes. So
I do it for my districts. I'm happy to do it here, yeah.
And I'm guessing Tiffany, you actually already receive a lot of that training anyway that's required.
Yes, yep, I am a investment officer.
Well, I just said that Tiffany could do it.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with Tiffany doing it.
I don't either.
okay, yeah, I thought y'all might want to consider that. I mean, you have to do 10 hours of training within the first 12 months and then 8 hours every other year thereafter. So it makes a lot of sense. Y'all are obviously reviewing the district's investments as part of the bookkeeping report on a monthly basis. So if you ever have any questions about how the funds are invested, you're certainly welcome to ask, Tiffany or I. So.
Do we need to make that into a vote?
So do we need to make a vote on this?
We do if you want to appoint anyone other than Tom as the investment officer. But if Tom, I don't want you to, if you want to stay as investment officer, you're certainly welcome to as well, whatever the board's preference is. So.
Got one over here, great.
But does it have to be a board member?
It really doesn't.
It has to be
I
a board
thought-
member, doesn't it, or no?
Yeah.
Does it
Okay.
have to be a
So we
board
just need a motion to appoint Tiffany.
Say this, it does not have to be a board member.
It does not have to be a board member, and I will tell you, it is common practice to appoint a bookkeeper as investment officer, and I'm sure Tiffany can tell you that she serves as investment officer for
Okay.
probably a number of her clients.
Great,
So
we have a motion.
I'll make a motion that we ask Tiffany to be our investment officer for the board.
And all in favor? Motion carries. Park maintenance matters, number 6.
First of all, I asked Tom, he was nice enough to offer several weeks ago, if I needed help or whatever. It just makes sense to kind of partner up. And so he's going to be helping me with some, and I'll do some. But some of my updates, like he met with Stephen the other day, he has access to a golf cart, and I don't have one of those things. You gonna rent me one? So first of all, on the pond, probably everybody's noticed that we got the obstruction cleared, and I just waited until their monthly visit where they didn't charge us more. It was an easy clear of this additional algae. They put some chemicals in it. I also put some extra chemicals that it's just a treatment. It's nothing hazardous to any of the light that's in there. That helps kind of block out the UV light. That hopefully will take care of more of that algae. And then as far as the trees, has anything changed by this Friday? We should have.
Weather permitting, everything should be done and installed by Friday.
It's not the trees, but the water necessary
taps.
for the trees, the water taps, because we've already located where those would be. I think I presented those last time, the first 10, and so we were just waiting on the purchase of the trees until we were already set up with the water where they can immediately start getting irrigated. Did you have any updates then on anything else that you've done? I know she saw, some limbs down, we reached out to Jay.
Yeah, I, reached out to Jay, well, we both reached out to Jay and asked him to, take a look again, but we have a lot of, on section 6, there's several limbs down, we gotta get that done. In the past, we've had him over the retainer basically, and he comes and cleans those things up for us, so. We'll finish that up, that's why I was asking about the chick, and we'll try to get that done as soon as we can. The other thing that, I don't know if we do it now or we do it when Taylor gets up, but, should we talk about the cart path now or wait?
You guys.
I mean, it's part.
Let's talk about it now, it's part.
Yeah, so if you guys look at the back of my report, there's 2 cost estimates. One is, I just wanted to give this to you guys for an example of going forward future. You know, most park systems have a 6-foot wide trail system. And so that first cost estimate is just gonna be a breakdown per, we're calling them sections, but essentially per holes, to give you what that looks like. And it's a big number at the end of the day, but it's something that you break down over 7 or 8 years, that if something in the future spurs that. Now,
That's replacing all.
that's
the parts.
replacing all of it. So we're talking $800,000 to replace all of it with 6-inch sidewalk, brand new. Based on the repairs that you guys currently have, it's approximately $50,000. It'd be about $54,000 to include the 70-foot that Tom included for that section of connectivity. And that's just going by piece, and that's with the wire mesh and everything. The current sidewalk does not have any wire mesh or anything, so tying into it's gonna be pretty tricky to make sure it doesn't break up. The reality is, you know, I think you guys understand this, it is just a Band-Aid fix, especially with the flooding we have in the area, settlement rising and things like that. Well, what will end up happening is those places that you replace, you'll do the whole section or the whole panel, however it needs to be. If anything else moves, that's not gonna move, because it's gonna have the proper bedding. Everything else is gonna shift around it, because that's where you're gonna have the issue. So, it's helpful to clean it up, and there's some techniques that we can use to try to tie it together as best possible, whether digging out underneath the sidewalk to kind of almost connect it that way. It's too thin to really dial into and tie it together in that case, but, you know, it's old golf course sidewalk. When they put it in, there's probably no bedding underneath it. I mean, Mara, you replace some of it. It's just on grade as it sits now.
Is there an opportunity to use any other kind of material that might save money for the project?
If you wanted to go that route as far as the replacement of everything, we could certainly run ideas of, you know, I know people have used the granite crushed. You can look at, I've even seen like hard pavers essentially, but that's not as conducive to riding a bike. Asphalt as well is a lot of more malleable surface, things like that. So, I mean, I could definitely give you a bunch of different estimates if that's something you guys thought to pursue in the future.
I think what I had in mind was more the second quote, where doing the repair, it's more the figures that I was thinking about. And we don't need to spend nearly $1 million, so, but, I don't know what's everybody else thinking. I'm thinking if he's saying around, well, this says 49, but with the extension of the cart path, because I've had a couple of ladies tell me they try to push their children around, it's real tough to take them through that.
Yeah. So, I mean, luckily, we did this exercise back in 2022, really.
Yeah.
So a lot of the stuff we reused as far as, you know, we haven't fixed any of it. We knew some places where we fixed it, and we re-looked at it. So we pretty much have everything done. If it's something you guys want to pursue, we've got an exhibit map that we can send out to different contractors, and because it's going to be under the 150,000 threshold, it's just a solicited bid.
So, you said you put this out to contractors, where did you get these numbers?
These numbers are just from, because we do bidding for sidewalks all the time, so this is just a cost. Yes, these are just ours from a slew of bids that we've taken over the past.
So our next step would be for you to get three bids.
Yes, sir. As we discussed last time, I wanted to make sure you guys knew what numbers you were gonna be going after, you know.
Any questions, discussions? I'm all for those either way.
If there's no questions, I'd like to make a motion that we go ahead and ask Carey to go out with RFQs, including the extended sidewalk that's not there now. It's about 70 feet. It's on section 5. By the way, I call it sections because I don't like giving it the connotation of being a golf course.
We're gonna have that conversation outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just give us a map.
But, well, it's all the same as the holes were, I just call them sections instead of holes, because you call them that, and then the guy says, well, why can't I play golf here?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, do we have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
But before we move off of the parks, I wanted to,
Yeah, I have one more thing too.
okay, good. I want to just briefly explain what I'm considering bringing up for a motion, but I wanted some legal advice on, make sure we're not opening ourselves up. But on our pond, we currently have it just labeled as no fishing. Would there be any concern of posting fishing at your own risk and requirement of catch and release? There is bass in there and probably catfish. I don't know if they're there. I've seen them. And we've seen kids out there with parents, you know, it's kind of a cool thing to see a parent out there with them. We could even restrict an age or something, you know, for supervision of an adult. It's just a thought I wanted to pitch out, but I would like to hear if there's any risk, additional liability we might be exposed to if we did consider that.
Lawyers?
I won't tell you that there's never any risk, you know, doing anything, but it's, you know, it's not unusual for a governmental entity to have a pond in which they do not explicitly prohibit fishing, if that's something that you do not want to prohibit. So it's entirely up to you. I'm not aware of any special condition or risk associated with that facility, and so it's entirely up to the, you know, the board and your preference. So
I mean, there's no reason to go any further if the board doesn't agree with it. So you know, I can put it out there as a motion, but then we can work out later the details of signage and so forth. So
Discussion.
Yeah, any discussion first or any thoughts?
I don't see a problem in it. I think we need to have the kids out there, you know, fishing, you know, catch and release.
I think the original reason that they did that and say were the liability issues, supposedly it's slick around the edges, but fall in. I don't know where I fit on that one, to be honest.
I mean, look at the worst case scenario, a couple kids fishing, screwing around, one falls in and drowns. That's a risk. I see that as a real risk. What happens?
But that has already happened, well, not falling in, but people have already fished
I'm
with the
all for
signage,
the
with the
fishing.
signage
Yeah,
there.
I'm all for the
But
fishing.
that's why I kicked it over to our council first, to see if they you know, thought anything about it.
And Davis, would we, yeah, we would be sued, but is it really somebody can win if a kid slips or somebody slips and falls in and drowns? We say fish at your own risk?
I think it's around fishing or not.
let me say this: putting up a sign that says, you know, involve yourself in an activity at your own risk does not absolve you of any potential liability. The district has governmental immunity. I think you're, you know, as long as you know, act responsibly and aren't aware of any specific dangerous conditions or you know, risks, then you know, you should be in a good position to defend yourself. But I will tell you, I've had clients sued by people walking on a trail who hurt their ankles, right? So I won't tell you that there isn't any risk or that someone couldn't be hurt. It's just something that you know, need to be aware of. And that's also, you know, I'll remind you why you have insurance. So
we're.
And that, Paul, I don't know if there's anything you want to add to that.
100%.
Any further questions or comments? I'll make a motion that we correct or change our signage, change it to where people can fish as long as it's a catch and release, and we decide later, didn't have to decide right now what is the appropriate age that they need supervision, any, you know, minor or whatever. So that's my motion.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries.
The other thing I wanted to talk about on the park, let's get back there real quick,
Still there?
is our rules only allow golf carts on the cart paths. And we're having problems with kids riding these motorized scooters on the cart paths, and people are saying, I haven't actually seen them do it.
And electric motorcycles.
And, you know, electric motorcycle, whatever you call it. And people are telling me that they're running them off the paths and all that. Is there any ideas how we can stop them?
Well, we have a sign up there.
Yeah, we have signs at every entrance.
And the resident last week, I don't remember who she was, but she suggested that we put the rules out in the bill, and I am all for that. I will get that done.
Okay, we can do that.
It would be easier to read, you really have to stop and just, it's in such a small font, because there's so much information there, you really have to, and nobody does that. So that would be an additional effort if we did that.
Then there's another piece to
To
that
educate people.
is, I invited Charlie Riley and his guys over, and Carl and I met with them last week. And one of the questions that Carl asked, I thought it was a good one, is could they get the constables to help us to monitor, some of that activities? And I got the impression, I don't know if you did, that from Charlie, that he would talk to them and see if they can't get them to help us to monitor that. Cause it's difficult, you have to catch somebody doing it, you know, before you can tell them. You might have a good opportunity, you catch them in your
Well, I
backyard.
did catch one, well, I didn't catch him, but I tried to catch, I was too slow.
Yeah.
But I saw the constable, and there were two kids on a motorcycle coming up from, you know, Mosswood up to the thing on the cart path.
Mhm.
And, I don't know if you caught them or not, but I saw them down by the gazebo. But, you know, I'm too old and fat and slow to catch them. So,
At any rate,
Charlie also said that he suggested that we contact the constable, so.
yeah, well, we need to do that.
You'd have to be ready.
All right.
Okay, I'll second.
Okay, application for use for park for a special event. The RPCIA is requesting to use the park again this year for the 4th of July celebration to shoot off fireworks. Need a motion?
I make a motion, we accept it, they did a good job last year in monitoring it, it seemed to go off fairly well. I don't know, Jamie, you got any problems from last year?
No.
Okay, I make a
And I
motion
sent
we
the application to
accept
you
it,
and
approve
Bonnie.
it.
You can give it to me today if you have it.
I texted it to you and I emailed it to Bonnie.
Okay. Also, the question is, they put up the yellow tape last year to keep the vehicles
Yeah,
off the park.
We need to do that again.
We would request
If they
that.
would. Okay, motion to accept it under those conditions.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Maintenance and repair of administrative facilities, purchase of equipment, services for meetings and administrative purposes. This is the equipment in the computer room here. Last month when I came in to upload the videos, I had no internet at all. I had to call Bobby out and he replaced the router. I said, why did this happen so fast? He said, this is the router from the old side. It's been here for several years. He suggested replacing that and some other equipment because it also gets hot in there. So it involves adding a fan, some updated equipment. If you notice on the video, when you move your hand on there, it takes a little while for it to react. So we're a couple seconds delayed on the video. This is hopefully a solution for that too, to get a faster system in there.
Is it in there now?
It's in your packet. It came in your electronic packet.
Since that's really a closet, right, should we consider having ductwork put in there to cool it down better?
I don't think it's necessary. I think we get a fan in there just to circulate it a little better. Right now I'm leaving the door open. We had afterwards on the cabinet, that made it really bad. It did overheat at that point. But I think with the fan and the way it is now, that's gonna be quite a bit of an expense to put another duct in there.
Just a question.
Right. I think it's worth trying it without at least.
Yep.
We get a motion to accept
To accept what?
the proposal from, Dr.
I don't know if I saw
I
it.
don't see a proposal on
I
there.
think
It was
I
on
did,
the,
but I don't recall what it says right now.
It went out in the packet. I will say it's close to the end. It's like page,
Close to that. Page 332.
Page 332. Right at the end.
yeah.
Can you guys send me that, once you get the invoice, that proposal? Are you gonna receive an invoice afterwards?
We're gonna
Oh.
receive,
An invoice for that?
yes, I'm sure we will. And he sends invoices directly to you.
Okay, perfect.
And I'd be happy to forward it to you, Tiffany.
Thank you.
Do you see it? Yeah, you see it.
I can read what it says.
I'm looking. Davis, I'm having trouble finding it on the,
No, I don't.
on the
Just never
packet.
seen it totally on the
Electronic
page,
packet.
I was reviewing it.
I wish I could share my screen. It is in the first packet that went out before the engineer's report, and all of those documents were added to that took the packet up to 300 plus pages. It is a page 149 of 153. The total cost is $1,596.85.
And he's already replaced the router.
There it is. $1596.85.
That's right.
And you're thinking.
And that's total, that's equipment and his labor.
Yeah, that's everything.
Yeah, so it's a router, a network switch,
And
access point,
You
and a
really
cooling
think this
fan.
is neat, right?
Yes.
Okay, I moved the rig separate, didn't let him do it.
I second
All in
But-
favor?
I have a second question. I noticed on this building that I don't know, I hadn't noticed it before, but we're paying him probably close to $1,000 a month in inspection and maintenance fees, and then we still have to pay extra when something goes down. I think that we don't need, on electronics, we shouldn't need a
Let's-
monthly inspection.
Let's finish this vote first and then do that.
Oh, I thought we did that.
Did you vote? Good. Yes, okay, it's accepted, sorry.
Yeah, we accept it. But I don't think, we shouldn't be having to pay around $1,000 a month, and that's counting all of the facilities he goes and supplies, I don't have him come check mine that often, I'm thinking twice a year would be fine, but.
Can I touch on that?
I'd like to hear what you
Can I
guys.
touch on that? He does go to the sewer plant quite often, because we do signal and communications at the wastewater treatment plant. So he does a good job with the facilities for sure.
Okay, but what does he do? Just comes in and looks at it?
So he comes in, looks at the connection, the strength of the connection, then he'll go up, clean the lenses. And he'll do the whole rotation, make sure everything works. I mean, he'll have me do it from my phone every now and again.
Okay, so you're thinking at the wastewater plant and where else?
The water plant.
Huh?
The water plant.
And the water plant says
Yes.
it is justified?
I mean, for me.
Is he
I'm
coming
just
out
giving you-
every month?
Yeah, he does come out. I don't know how frequently he comes out, but he does come out often.
What's
The
on a
guys tell
monthly
me when he's
basis,
here.
do we need it that often?
Yeah, I mean, that's another question, but I mean, maybe once a year is probably a big stretch, is what I'm saying.
Well,
Because I'll get the notification on my phone that we lost
quarterly would be good.
communications.
If we went quarterly even, that would save us, like, what, $6,000 a year, or $7,000 a year?
Yeah, we just can't risk losing communication
Yeah,
with the generators.
what would you think if we went to inspections on a quarterly basis rather than monthly? And if-
I don't know what his contract is now. I can ask Bobby and maybe get back with one of you.
Yeah,
I don't know
but
what
if we
contract
did
is.
that, we could save a lot of money and your equipment should still stay up. And I mean, if it breaks, we have to pay for it anyway. Cause we get no benefit other than not going down maybe.
Okay, I just wanna give my opinion as far as the facilities go, I'm not sure what he does here.
All right,
but
once
the
you get
facilities is
back to us, if it's really necessary to do those 3 plants, cause that's 3 of them, I don't think we need to do this every month.
I think he's only charging us for 2, actually.
Huh?
He's charging
No,
us for 2
this-
and the
this-
sewer plant.
So that'd be both water plants and sewer.
Huh?
2 and 3 and the sewer plant.
Correct.
I think our investment person can tell you, but.
I'll give it Bobby, I'll let one of you, I'll let Tom, I'll let you know.
Yes, my notes for that are actually attached to the check, so the invoice, you'll have the invoice over there, the stack of invoices. That would have all the backup for what you're being billed for. Tom, I didn't mean to steal your job, okay?
You work for it now.
Okay, well,
Good.
hey, you want to just table it at this
Table it for
point?
now, yeah.
But get back to me what he says about
Yeah, I
doing
will.
a quarterly.
Okay, operators report, there we go.
All right. Good evening, everyone. You should have a report. For May of 2026, we have connections of 978, 36 vacancies. Revenues totaling $86,034.46. Your bill consumption at $6,709,000. Your water pumpage below, we have total pumpage $7,524,000. 93% accounted for with 1 leak repaired. Collected our bacteriological samples, all came back good. Wastewater treatment plant numbers just below that, everything is working within parameters, no excursions or breaches. We had a little over 7 inches of rain, and the plant operated at 51% of its permitted capacity. Reuse amount, a little over 5 million gallons, total revenue of $1,326. Age receivables and your consumption chart below that. Next page, your production and accountability report, 93% for the month, 93% for a 12-month average. And your 2 charts reflecting those numbers. And then final page, your submission of DMR. Again, all zeros on the right, no violations to report. We are in compliance.
So we had a couple of emergencies.
Yes, so we've had a couple of leaks. We had a fire hydrant blowout on Fairway Oaks and Stonewall Jackson. We also had, while the contractor was doing the road, the vibrator caused the main break, which went all night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but we're staying on top of those. One thing I will practice, and I'll get with Tom and Carl is, we're gonna try to utilize the messaging system a little bit more. Typically, we rely on our office and door hangers when stuff like this happens. We just, on major events, we'll work on stuff like that, just putting messages
There's
out
no
there.
reason not to use it.
Right, you're paying for it,
We pay
yes, sir.
$200 a month regardless if we use it or not.
Yep.
And then we can use it as many times as we want.
Right.
And it is specific enough, you can send it to one house, one street, or a combination of streets.
Or make it easy enough, send it to everybody, because if people get out there on next door, why is my water level low, why is my pressure low? So if we get that out sooner the better communication.
We can do that, we'll work on that as well.
Great.
And that's all I have, board.
And, do you have any pictures of those jobs?
And we
I'll send them to you, yes, sir.
appreciate it if you get that going.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Okay, annual review of emergency preparedness plan, if applicable, submission of emergency operations information.
Okay, this is just something, again, we put on annually, kind of as a reminder to just kind of make sure there aren't any changes that need to be made. I know Taylor looks at it annually. I'll just remind everyone this is a confidential document. It's filed with the state, but we do want to make sure it stays current. So, Taylor, if you don't mind taking a look at that, and I'm sure it looks good. And Mario, just if you guys need to update the emergency contact information or anything like that, we just want to make sure it's current, so that if an emergency does occur, that we have the right contact information, locations, facility descriptions, all that good stuff. So.
Yeah, we update this regularly on your behalf. If the personnel in the district has changed, so on and so forth, it has to be updated with the state. It's a violation if they come to find out that it's wrong. So It's an ever-changing document that we are constantly looking at. So, we're on
Perfect. No, thanks.
Is that gonna be next week updated, I mean, next month, or is that?
He just does that a reminder. We just update it regularly when things change. Right now, yours is perfectly up to date. Yeah. So.
Taylor's always on top of it. I like to put it on the agenda just to make sure that that I get a thumbs up from the engineer and the operator that it's being reviewed. So, thanks.
Okay, engineers report.
Alrighty, first thing on y'all's list for the permits. So jumping into the same kind of vein, the emergency response plan and risk and resiliency assessment. The risk and resiliency assessment was due by the end of this month. That has been submitted on y'all's behalf. This is a new thing the EPA came out with 5 years ago, and this is the renewal process. The emergency response plan that is secondary to the risk and resiliency is due December 2026. Moving on to the joint projects, we have pay application number 1 in the amount of $162,625 for the East Ditch FEMA work. We also have pay application number 2 in the amount of $50,940. That work's underway. Nothing new on the East Ditch maintenance. The wastewater treatment rehab project, we should see the final payout this next month. They finally knocked out all of the punch list items for us. Nothing new on Cornerstone Church, haven't heard from them. Mosswood Ditch rehab, that construction is substantially complete. We have pay application number 1 and final in the amount of $73,750 that we'll recommend payment for the storm sewer phase.
Taylor, they're still working on that though.
That's the Mosswood emergency repair. So we had a clearing contractor going in there to clear it out, and then that big sinkhole happened behind the house that's for the emergency repair.
Speaking of those, there's 2 or 3 big sinkholes back there, right toward the end of it. And can we get those marked off? Somebody, so.
In the Mosswood ditch?
Yeah, in the Mosswood ditch. He drove his tire, his golf cart in one.
Mosswood?
Well, they never got it.
Before you get to the Mosswood Ditch.
Oh, along the
grass.
Yeah, it's
the storm sewer.
the upper part of the ditch,
Yes.
the covered part.
Okay, gotcha. Yes.
Yeah, I should have said it.
Okay, we will double check that.
Yeah,
So what we
there's 3.
found the last time is we repaired some of those. They have to go inside and grout them.
I just need them marked off, if nothing else.
Well, certainly. But we have that storm sewer contract going out, so we'll push them out there to seal those grout connections. For the storm sewer phase 2 rehab, we have pay application number 1 in the amount of $30,262.50 that we recommend payment. Nothing to report on the sanitary sewer rehab. The Mosswood sinkhole, which is the emergency repair. You'll see on here, I'm saying change order. This is from when we originally did the emergency repair. This is just the paperwork following up to document everything for the government. So we got emergency approval through the TCEQ. Because of the situation at hand caused imminent threat to personnel. It was in the backyard of somebody's house, and it was the entire channel was failing in that area, and so you guys authorized to move forward. You already had money set aside to do a bunch of work in the East Ditch, so this didn't come out of any sort of operating funds. This is all coming out of your capital projects funds. We are working on the 10-year CIP for you guys to update all that, and then we already discussed the Charleston Park evaluation. That is all I have. If you guys have any questions. I did send out, hopefully you guys got it, a list of all the projects going on, current underway, where those sit. If you guys have any further questions about, please don't hesitate to ask. If you want all the plans, I'm more than happy to provide them for you, but it's a big file.
Any questions for engineer?
Move to accept the engineer's report.
Well, we need
Well,
to accept the payment.
We have 2 payment requests, right?
No, we have
3.
3.
I thought that was,
We have pay application, well, we have actually 4. Pay application number 1 and 2 for the East Ditch FEMA work. First one is $162,625.50. The second is $59.40.
oh, I see.
And you guys can make a single motion to approve the engineer's report and the pay applications if you would like to do it that way, or you can approve them separately, however you prefer.
Looking for a motion.
Make a motion that we accept the engineer's report and that we accept the payment request, all that were mentioned, move forward with them.
We have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item, violation of district rules, public hearing for violation of district rules and damage to district property assessment penalty. Paul, would you like to address this here?
Yes, sir. Good evening, board. Thank you. Yeah, we have our pending action item on this, and what I can do is provide an update, and then whatever action the board wants to take, if any. I do think we should have a discussion in executive session before we do anything, so by way of action or anything like that. But I think we don't have any new matters. We do have the pending violations involving Ms. Sanders and her home on Swanee. And you have the 3 homeowners there. I do believe they all have an ownership interest in the property, and it's under one account for utility purposes. So where we are on this board is, and I'll say some of this by way of reminder, because I think both Messrs. Bashop haven't been to one of these, but they should be well aware. There's only been about 5,000 community posts on this. So this is a matter of violating the park rules. We're here on the MUD, not the HOA. You have a published and adopted and posted park rules all over Charleston Park. You spent almost $2 million buying that park to save the character of the community. And your rules prohibit the placing of signs in the park of any kind. There's no exception. There's no, that's normal. It's a public park. You can't go to Conroe and find a public park and place signs in it of any kind. You can't go to the Memorial Park in Houston and place signs in it. They would be taken down. You'd be arrested. You'd be fined, just like happens here. And so what you are doing is protecting the quality of your neighborhood. We've had multiple occurrences of signs being placed in the park in violation of these rules. The owners of the home have been cited, and we've had 2 violation hearings on these matters. And the outcome of those violation hearings were, and I'm again just reminding us of this background, were an assessment of a $5,000 fine. You're very experienced in dealing with fines in the district. We have them, you're a big district, so unfortunately this stuff happens. You heard the discussion tonight about people driving motor vehicles through the park. You have to take this stuff serious. It's safety issues, it's quality of life issues. And so, sometimes people, they're cited, they come and work something out with the board. We had a very different approach here. There was no effort to resolve it, and just, vitriol was the only approach the board received. And so the board decided to assess a $5,000 penalty. You did agree that it could be reduced to $4,000 if the payment was made in a certain amount of time. That payment was not made. And then there was another another violation. And so the board authorized to file an enforcement suit. That's the next step when a fine is not paid, and when behavior continues, there are enforcement suits. And so that has been filed. It's been filed against the 3 members you see there, and they are the owners of the home. And that's really who you would go after. And so that case is pending in court. We have nothing going on. We have no deadlines. The case has been set for trial for next March, I believe. And so we're just we'll work our way through the court system. At the last meeting, the board also voted to take one more step, which you're allowed to do, and that is to place the fine that was previously assessed on the water bill for the home. And so you did that and voted to do that, and that's what the $5,000 is. There's no confusion about what that is. Everybody is aware of what that is. And so it's the $5,000 was placed on the utility bill for 572 Swanee Park. And again, that's owned by both of the Mr. Bishops, and Miss Sanders, I believe, has an ownership interest in the home as well. And so your operator, pursuant to your instructions, placed that on the water bill. Now, I've not seen a copy of the water bill, so some of this I just have to go off of what I'm hearing. But I don't believe a termination notice or anything like that has been sent. What happened, I believe, is the water bill was sent, and the fine has been included on the water bill. So if the water bill was $225, it's $5,225 on this last water bill. And yes, if that bill is not paid on time, you will have your normal enforcement rights of disconnection and all of those kind of things. And so that's, I believe, what we're here talking about. There's not really The board can act however it wants to. I'm almost done, Ms. Sanders, I'm sorry. The board can act however it wants to, right? You have discretion over your affairs, but you've taken this matter seriously. I think that's the right thing to do. You've done the fine, the lawsuit, and we've added the fine to the water bill. And so that's really where we are. And I believe what has happened is Ms. Sanders and both Mr. Bashop received the water bill with the fine on there, and that's what they're here just hoping to discuss with you.
You didn't show them the water bill you sent me to disconnect today at 12? There's a disconnection for today at 12. And you sent it to me on Saturday. Anyways, I did,
Mia, can I say something real
I
quick?
did
I'm
a
gonna be real
temporary
fast.
restraining order with the district judge that were involved with the case. I went and saw the judge today. There's a temporary restraining order, and they will be holding an injunction because it was a horrible decision. And that's fine. If your lawyer wants to tell you to just do whatever you want to do without advising you any further, that is something very unintelligent. And I advise you to talk to him a little bit further about what the implications of what you're doing is. It makes no sense if we're in the middle.
I'm on your side, so I'm
I'm
gonna
sorry.
say something real quick on your behalf.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
I live on Terra Park, which is on Charleston. There are signs out there right now. Are you gonna go find them $5,000? There's signs right there. I could go take pictures.
Please do, or tell me where it's at, and I'll take it.
They're always there.
Oh, I
They
can
are
take
on the
those.
corner of River Plantation and Terra Park every single day, every weekend.
Once again, this could have been solved a lot earlier, but.
No, I think you all are ridiculous.
I have the piece of paper. Can you please
Can I
answer the
get- can I
questions?
get a
No.
moment, please?
The very
Whenever I-
questions that I sent y'all to itemize every single thing.
No,
Time-
Well, I'm gonna ask the
every
board
single
not to
thing.
answer
I
those
said
questions.
nobody
No, listen,
contacted me.
every single
I was
sign
not
you place,
contacted
it needs
at
to
all.
have a
Let me
picture
handle this.
One at
with
a
the
time.
timestamp. Okay,
One
listen,
at a time,
listen.
or we'll shut
With
this
my-
down.
With my piece of paper here,
Yeah,
maybe the
stop.
questions
I was not
to ask.
contacted.
What is the exact time,
She
date,
was.
and specific
I'm
location
the
of the
owner.
alleged
She is
infraction?
too.
Let me just speak, because I got the good questions here.
I was not
What
contacted.
physical documented evidence, besides my First Amendment rights, my wearable
At
sign
all.
that was not
Okay.
planted in the ground?
Paul, you wanna
Photographs,
answer these
timestamp
questions?
videos, or field technician logs proving that a violation occurred. Will the board physically produce that evidence tonight? What
Okay.
specific,
Can
what
we
specific
do one question
section,
at a time?
paragraph,
Can we do
and
one
line?
question at a
Yes,
time?
please,
Yeah.
there you go.
No, you can read them, that's fine, but
Okay,
one
okay.
question at a time.
I'm gonna sit down while I do this.
Okay.
Before we do that, can I just say my piece? I've been
Sure.
quiet. I apologize, they're obviously upset, and I am too, but I remain calm. So how this began is, she's my tenant. No, I got it. And, she's my tenant, we had a garage sale, we have signs, is the red house the Charleston Park? Cause that's where we have signs. And we kept going down there, before you guys moved the red house, whatever that is, that Stonewall and River Plantation. We'd put signs there, we'd go back, and we'd see that they're just missing. And this is a couple times, they're just gone. So we actually went down there, cause we saw it was missing, we sat down there, and her son actually has a video of somebody taking the sign, and then, he videos it. Have you guys seen the video of this?
Yes.
Okay, so you're aware of that. So, and then the next time, that happened, I guess I don't know anything. But that's where we had the signs, is that Charleston Park? I wasn't aware that was Charleston Park. That's where we had the sign, and that's where it was taken numerous times.
For the CIA building then?
And that was, I never got any letter in the mail saying that you can't have signs up.
Well,
The
there's
first,
garage sales signs all the
excuse
time.
me, the first thing I got in the mail is a cease and desist, no more garage sales. Like, okay, fine, we didn't have any more garage sales after that. And now I'm getting sued, and I got sued 2 weeks after I gave her power of attorney to do some she wanted to research something to do, okay, fine, that's cool, I'll help you out, you're my tenant, I have no problem with that. And then I'm getting sued for $250,000? Like, what?
Let me just give them these questions.
So, let me
then you can
address,
answer
let me
them.
address your comments. We have nothing to do with the homeowner association, so the signs that were placed by where the red building was, have nothing to do with this.
I'm so glad you
This is-
said that.
This is only regarding the signs that were on Charleston Park.
Okay, and that never occurred. It's
Yes,
alleged,
it
and
did.
no, everyone stop. This is what I'm asking for right now. What
Don't-
specific
wait, you
section,
don't tell me to
paragraph, and
stop
line?
me.
Look,
I'm
he's
talking
answering
now.
my question, I appreciate it, thank you.
So that is the fine that we assessed. We assessed that fine because instead of working with us and coming to an agreement that, yes, this is something you can't do. She was belligerent, and the report that we got is she was actually destroying property of
We need to see
our
what that
vice
destroying
president.
was. What's
He's
that?
right here right now. He
Please.
can tell you right now, we have a witness here right
No,
now.
no, no, we need
that says she
pictures,
destroyed-
timestamp dates,
No, we don't need
pictures,
pictures, we have an
specific
eyewitness
locations if you
account.
wanna get a $250,000
There is
baby.
no $250,000 fine.
We're not
Paul
suing.
has
We're
addressed
at a
that before.
lawsuit.
Yeah, it says on
And
the
why are you?
lawsuit.
Paul, will you address that again, please?
Yeah, so let me say a few things, and honestly, this is, and I believe it's Frank, are you the one that was, who's
I'm Alexis.
Frank and Alexis?
I'm Alexis.
Oh, Alexis. Okay, yeah, this is the conversation we were trying to have all along, okay? And that's the unfortunate part.
I wasn't aware,
I
didn't
well,
know
but
such a-
yeah,
I didn't know such a big deal. Now
you're the
I
only
got it-
person
I got
in
it filled.
Conroe who wasn't
I got it
aware,
filled,
sir.
now I show up, I'm like,
The-
$5,000. I'm sorry.
Well, so hold on, if you were not aware, I find that impossible, okay? You're the only person in Conroe who didn't know about this.
I'm
It's
not
been
on
posted
Facebook.
maybe,
She tells me about
maybe
it.
10,000 times.
I'm not on any Facebook.
So, hold on, Miss
My
Sanders.
question for you, Paul, was please address the $250,000.
Yeah, yes, I am, Carl. Yeah, correct, thank you. And so the issue is, that is a jurisdictional allegation. That's all it is. It's required by the rules. We are not suing for
It's a lawsuit.
$250.
Baby, what are you telling everybody a lie for?
Ma'am,
Because it
that's
says
not
March
helpful to talk.
2027, I got a court date, and I just went and spoke to the judge that's presiding over the lawsuit. Why do you keep saying that to people? Why do you
So,
keep saying that to people?
board members, I've worked for you a long time, we're always telling you the truth, so let me say a few things. If Ms. Sanders went ex parte to court today, she didn't tell me, and that's not allowed. And so this is just the efforts that they're going to avoid compliance with the law, and we'll take appropriate action. I've known nothing about this, nothing. She didn't contact us, total ex parte. If she was able to obtain some relief today, it'll expire within 14 days and it'll be gone and she can't do it again. It's a violation of the rules. You're supposed to tell somebody for trying to get a TRO. No one contacted me. And I'm not sure that it even exists. But the $250,000 is a jurisdictional, you have to say it by the rules. There are like 4 or 5, you say, is it above this amount, is it below this amount, those kind of things, because certain courts have jurisdiction up to a certain amount, and other courts have jurisdiction over another amount. That's all it is. So what we are suing for is civil penalties and our attorney's fees for the enforcement. And so that's all. And I don't mean to downplay it. It's going to be substantial at this point. And so this is the last thing I'll say on that, Carl, and then I'm happy to answer whatever you want. Before we answer questions publicly, I'd like to talk to the board in executive session, whether we decide what we want to do there. But Ms. Sanders has never come to a single meeting with a constructive approach. And that's the point.
That's why I'm here today.
That's right, that's the point.
I didn't know it was so out of hand until now. And that's how it felt. So once I signed power of attorney so she can get some paperwork, 2 weeks later I'm getting sued. Last week, she said she wants to run and she would need a 1% ownership. So I gave her 1% ownership. A week later, now I have a $5,000 bill and people are saying, oh, she's an owner now. Okay, and then you said it was, if she came here and she wasn't belligerent, it could have been handled differently. So it seems like it's a personal thing with her, and I got dragged into it. That's how it feels to me, and I don't feel like that's right, in my opinion. I have no interest on being belligerent or starting any problems with it. And I'm sorry about, he's retired, he's emotional.
You don't have to apologize for me. I want this suit dropped. With all due respect, it's frivolous and it doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, unless
He
these
doesn't even know
questions
my
are
name.
answered, just he said, she said.
Oh.
I don't wanna hear about witnesses, I wanna see the exact
It's an abuse of
section,
all your money,
paragraph,
all your
and
taxes
line
that
of the
you've
report.
heard about,
Okay.
millions of
Here's the
dollars.
questions. Please start
You don't
answering
need
them
to
one by
attack
one.
your own
Really,
homeowners.
very important. Those
Okay, may I answer your question?
Okay, can we just stop? I wanna answer
One
these
at a
questions,
time.
everybody.
One at a time and
Yes,
let Paul answer.
Okay.
Well, I don't know that this is what we should be doing, Carl. I don't think we should be on a recorded, I don't think I need time to see these questions and see what's happening. There's no procedure for what she's doing. This is not in your rules.
Since the first day, to give me exact.
It's not helpful, Ms. Sanders, to keep doing that. I'm trying to help you. We have had many violations where people come in and say, oh, I didn't know, I'm sorry, what can I do to make it right? That sentence has never come out of your mouth.
I'm trying
That's
to-
why we're
You never
here.
gave
That's
me
the
an
honest
opportunity to
answer as to
share
why
your
we're
opinion.
here.
You're supposed to
I'm
give
And
me
so,
an opportunity.
Mr. Bishop, I would like to hear
And
from
actually,
Mr.
The water bill is only in my name. It's not even in her name. The utilities, all the utilities are in my name. I'm the majority owner. She got 1% so she could run, and that was a week ago. She didn't buy the house.
But before that, we made that decision before that, she's a tenant, right?
Yes.
So you're responsible for your tenants.
Yes, I am.
That's why we assess.
Okay, I understand.
That's right, and what I would like is a proposal, my recommendation would be, if we want to get past this without continuing the lawsuit, that the homeowners, you don't have to do this live, but make a constructive proposal that doesn't involve accusations and charges and saying dismiss it because it's frivolous. It's the opposite of frivolous. We have all the meetings recorded. There's nothing frivolous about it. But I would recommend to the board that we work this out if we could. That's what I make that recommendation on every one of these. So I would ask that the homeowners think constructively about what they would like to propose as a resolution. It doesn't have to be resolved tonight. I'm not doing anything in court. That we have a trial in March. And so that's why I want to talk to the board in the executive session. We may not need to now, I'm basically giving my speech now. But I'd like to hear, I'd like the owners to propose something to take to the board, serious and substantial, and that would be, I think, what it would take to put this to bed, but I can't speak for the board. Otherwise, I don't see any reason to answer a bunch of questions and keep stirring the pot.
Acknowledge that there was no trespassing that we were accused of, there was no damage by putting a sign in the ground, and I would respectfully request that this lawsuit just be thrown out of court. It doesn't make any sense to anybody here, and if anybody disagrees with that, stand up and say so.
I disagree.
Well, these are all their friends.
Talk to your tenant.
What
Okay,
are
well, I would
the
like, okay, you know,
specific
thank you for
section,
saying.
paragraph, and line of the rate order
Sir, can we
authorizing
hear
the civil
directly
penalty
from you?
exactly
we want
$5,000?
to, you know, some kind of agreement, what damages were done, I'll pay for the damages, but how much damage could a garage sale sign do? Rip it out and it leaves a little hole? Like, I'm just curious, like, what damages occurred?
Well,
And
let's get
I'll
that
pay,
picture.
I'll pay those damages?
It's
Let's
not
look
about
at
damages, it's about breaking the rules.
Okay.
And there's attorney's fees.
Well, you said there was damage.
And now we have attorney fees because you would, if you said, okay, I broke the rules, and that's fine, we didn't have to get attorney fees involved. Now we have way more than $5,000 attorney fees involved. So,
Thank
and
you,
what
Mia.
Paul said,
We'll
to
be
me, I'm
we'll
only
be
one
paying
board
my
member
attorney
here,
fees
but
too.
what he
Stop.
said,
So you should
I'm
really
against
stop this.
100%. I'm sorry you can't come up with a solution now. She had a
That
chance
was
to
my
do that
first-
early on, and she blew it. But she came in here belligerent, she was belligerent in the video, and belligerent at each meeting that she was here, and that's the way we handled it. We could have assessed $20,000 fine. We chose $5,000 at $4,000 for payment early. She knew that months ago and chose not to fight and become more belligerent.
She actually told me about the fine, but she said it was to her, not to me, so I didn't even think about being included. At that point, she wasn't any part of she wasn't a homeowner or anything.
She was a tenant.
She was a tenant at that point.
Whose property was stolen from her, and that's why she was upset. And she has a right to be upset, and it's not against the law to be upset.
For somebody stealing your property and telling you, it doesn't matter who I am, I'm gonna steal your property anyways, and stalk you.
So it fails to become your property when you place it on a public park,
And they
ma'am.
just admitted it was on CIA property.
No, they're talking about the signs at the corner where the old building was.
Yes, the red building.
Up to that.
The red building, is that Charleston Park where the red building was?
No, across the street.
All right, well, the CIA's not suing you
Those are
over
the
that.
signs that we're talking about.
It's you.
I
You
said
put
we
them
have
on our
nothing to
sign,
do with
too.
the
You put
signs
them
that are
on
on the
our-
red building.
You have a
This is
picture.
only Charleston.
That was the only ones that I ever
need pictures.
experienced, so.
That's
The
where
judge
they
is gonna
were.
need
You said
pictures,
yourself,
huh?
you put 30, he
You
stole
really think they're
30
gonna give you
signs from you.
$250,000 without a picture?
You said
Without
that she.
the section and paragraph
But
that I'm
you
doing
shut up
wrong?
and let me tell you
Please
something.
let them talk.
You said you he stole 30 of your signs off of the park. I never saw that many out there. I don't think you have. I understand you've raised it to 60.
No, that was 30 each weekend. He did it twice, 2 weekends in a row.
I have personally picked up one of your signs off of the park.
I'm glad you said that. Off of Charleston Park?
Yes, off
Did you
of
take a
Charleston
picture
Park.
of that?
No, I did not.
I'm sorry then, you don't, that's just gonna be your he said, she
Yes,
said.
it is.
We're
That's-
sorry.
Because you're
That's
the
right.
professional.
I'm a witness,
You're
yes.
supposed to know how to do your processes and your procedures. Not just like frivolous,
We've gone
just,
through many procedures,
no,
and
you're
you
punishing
chose
me.
to,
You're punishing me.
And can I ask you a
No,
question?
You're not going off base out.
When you guys were taking the signs, how comes we never got like a letter in the mail saying to not do that? Well, we just got a cease and desist, but shouldn't you tell us before you take our property
You
or
got
something?
the right to cure.
Well, we,
I'm just
Carl,
curious,
let me
because, like,
address
we
that
already
if you don't mind.
let him tell you why.
So we did send that, sir. That's the, I don't enjoy this, okay, at all either. I don't enjoy having to come after homeowners. We sent those notices, and they were ignored completely. I have the signed letters. Miss Sanders posted them on the internet about 500 times. It's, everyone knows about it. It's, the whole world knows about it at this point. We sent the notices.
Yeah,
I said I didn't know about it, and that's the truth. Nobody contacted me. I'm the owner. Nobody contacted me. She was not the owner. She's running a garage sale. Give me a break.
Sit down. These people here, they
I'm
only.
sorry to raise my voice. I don't mean any disrespect.
You're responsible for your tenant.
Yes, okay.
That's
Well,
correct.
That's fine. Everything that you're saying here is wonderful. I appreciate everything you said.
Use some common sense.
Yes.
You're
And some-
responsible for your tenant, that's why we assessed the
All right, no
fine to your water.
picture.
$5,000 for a garage sale
Section
sign
codes.
that you say is
It's all right.
trespassing and causing damage? Is that reasonable?
You know,
Is that
Water will
rational?
be turned off if we don't pay it?
Why wouldn't I go
And
to
to
jail
add
for
to a
being
water
trespassing?
bill?
The senior citizen,
Because of the way she acted, yes.
Okay, well, that's not.
Because you don't like the way she talks.
It was a unanimous
I don't,
vote
I'm
by the
sorry I
board.
raised
And you
my
said it could've
voice,
been
but I'm
different
upset
if she
because
acted
it's
differently.
not
That's
fair.
it?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's it. Okay,
Well,
so
if
it
it's
wasn't
up to
about
your
the damage.
discretion, then
It wasn't
your
about the
discretion.
signs. It was because of how you felt the way I talked to you.
And to
I
make this a
apologize.
legal matter
I
is
apologize how it made you
outrageous.
feel. But you know how I feel? I'm a person too, a human being, a person with children, pets that need water, an elderly person that we take care of. That is the truth.
We could have assessed you another fine.
You
for
could
the-
be human.
For the signs that you wore
You could
when
be
you were
human.
walking.
No, you really
around, too.
can't.
Yes,
That's
we
good.
could have,
No.
according to our
Did you
legal
really talk to your
representation.
lawyer about
We
that?
didn't, okay? But
You
we
didn't talk to him about that because that's not true.
We have
It's a called a First Amendment right.
All right, we are going to go into executive
Okay.
session now. We ask that everyone step outside. You're welcome to come back. And when we come back into the meeting, we may or may not have a motion to address when we come back in, but now we are going into executive.
Yes.
Sorry, I should.
Okay, we are back in regular session. And do we have a motion?
Yes, sir. Make a motion that we temporarily suspend the termination of service for 10 days to give sufficient time to enter agreement of the current violations.
Do a second?
Second.
All in favor? You got that, Mario?
10 days.
That's all we needed, right, Paul?
And the way things are going, Laura, you might.
Yeah, are any of them still there? Cause did they already, no?
They're not in the room.
Well, okay, so somehow I have to get a hold of them. Okay, that's fine. They won't, they've never responded to my communication, so.